bullying can make back to school a torment, and joining us now is somebody that knows firsthand what bullying is about. Joining us now is Jessica Brookshire. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We spoke to you back in January about a grassroots effort that you started. Tell us about this and why you started it.
My group's called KARMA. It stands for Kids Against Ridicule, Meanness, and Aggression. It's an anti-bullying campaign I started here in Alabama 2 years ago. Since I've spoken with you in January, KARMA has taken leaps and bounds in the growth realm. In the last 2 years, I've spoken to almost 90,000 students across Alabama and Georgia. Been on CNN 3 times, Headline News, Prime News, and then I was also on the Mike Huckabee Show. So it's gotten a lot of exposure. Yes, I've been very busy.
And we're looking at some pictures of you in the schools. You were in WAAY, which is in our viewing area, not too long ago. What is your message to these students, and why such a passion? I know you graduated college. You could be out doing other things. Why are you doing this?
I could. You know, the reason for the passion, I know how it feels, and that's, I guess, my message too. I was a victim myself. I was bullied horribly from kindergarten to the day I graduated. They laughed at me when I walked across the stage, and it was constant verbal and emotional abuse, and it was all very small if you pick it apart, but together it made my school years a nightmare. And so for me, I graduated, I moved on, I went to college, and when I realized that if somebody had just told me it would be okay, it probably would have been so different for me, I decided I could be that person for other people.
So recently you just got accepted into law school. You deferred for a year to take on KARMA, to travel to schools, and you were just sort of really on a mission at this point to get into schools, and that's what you want to do.
Exactly. Primarily what KARMA does, I speak to groups of all shapes and sizes, schools, civic organizations, church groups, any group, parent group, teacher groups, anybody that feels that they need to hear a message about bullying, that they want to hear from the victim standpoint and kind of some advice from a former victim. That's what I offer. I am really gearing myself towards schools. For the last 2 years with KARMA, I have juggled this organization along with getting my master's. And so I finished my master's in May, and now my schedule's completely opened up, and I've decided to devote 100% of my time to this for the next year.
For parents out there listening to this, kids going back to school, what are some things, say warning signs, or what advice do you have for parents to look out for?
I know that when you get the Meet the Teacher day and you kind of see your kids' classmates, your children are already some are fearing that bully. They've already been placed in the classroom with the bully from last year. They already are afraid of another student, or they're already recognizing a certain dynamic. What I would tell parents is to go ahead, if you're in that situation, and let the teacher know. Don't be aggressive, because teachers have enough on their plate right now with the beginning of the school year, but you definitely, for your child's sake, need to let them know. You know, my child has had issues with this person in the past. I'm sure this will be a better year, but just in case, I want you to know what's going on. If your child tells you, listen. It takes a lot for a victim of bullying to speak up, so when they speak, you have to listen and be there ready to respond, and respond with a level head. Keep the teacher informed throughout. That way there's kind of a track record so that you can follow what's been done, when the instances have been taking place, and eventually there will be consequences for the bully when the administrators have all of this before them. You know, we've been going through this for X amount of time, we talked about it on these dates, and we need something done.
So it's easy to get in touch with you. Any school district that is watching, or any teacher that is watching right now, anybody can get in touch with you, and you come into these schools.
Exactly. I offer school assemblies. I do offer classroom visits as well, but for the last 2 years I've primarily done school assemblies by the choice of the schools, just because it tends to be really time effective with taking out of the day's curriculum, if you will. And what I do is I tell my story as a victim. I reach out to kids. I speak just as much to victims as I do to bullies, and I will say that the response is overwhelming. When I leave a school, the kids will write letters to me afterwards, and I have letters that make me laugh, some that make me cry, and that's kind of what keeps me going, is the kids. But I am very interested in school districts. Any school assemblies or teacher groups that are interested in hearing me speak, they can go to the website at thekarma.org.
Thekarma.org.
And there's a contact us form.
And also your email address is standstrongforkarma@gmail.com.
Yes, that's a direct line, and if they can't remember that, then there's also information on the website. There's educational materials, links. We constantly update it with advice for parents. There's pictures from former assemblies, and I also have a YouTube channel now where people can go on and see clips of me speaking.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for driving from Atlanta today to be with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And there's still much more to come on WAAY31. First News at 4. Stay with us.